Hi, my name is Ann Sermons Gillis, and I am a member of Unity of Charleston, South Carolina. Now, whether you're a member, you've been there a long time, whether you are a new member, or whether you're considering joining Unity, I think that you will be excited to meet the members. So today we have a wonderful member with us, and we want to learn a little bit more about her. You may have seen her at church. She's very active participant. Let's welcome Jane Jabbour. Jane, welcome.
Hi there. Glad to be here.
Yeah. Where are you from originally?
Born and raised in Jacksonville, Florida.
All right.
Yeah.
And where do you live now?
Outside Charleston, here in West Ashley. Have a very fortunate to have a place that looks out at the marsh.
It's a beautiful place. I've been there. It is a beautiful place. Well, what brought you from Florida to Charleston? Did you come directly, or was it?
Oh, no, and I've been all over the map. I've lived in Pennsylvania. I've lived in Virginia, many years in Virginia. And I came to Charleston by way of, I'm going to say, following my heart. And I'm happy to be here. I like Charleston. Just suits me.
Now, as I remember, you lived in China as well.
Yes. My partner and I spent 2 years in China at a university. We were teaching English as a second language to students at a very large university, like 27,000 students, in the southern part of China. It was a great experience. Learned a lot.
And talking about your partner, you've been in a relationship for a long time. Tell us about the status of that.
Yes, I have. I'm very happy with my partner, Lynn Mefford. And after, I guess, maybe 21 years of being together, we decided the law would let us get married. And so we did just a few years ago.
Just a few years ago.
Mm-hmm.
And do you have any children? And if so, what age?
Yes, I have a grown child, a daughter, whom I adopted as a baby. She came to me from El Salvador, and she is now a grown woman. She's had her 40th birthday, which is a big landmark, and she lives in Richmond, Virginia, and is pursuing her career as a senior, I guess you'd call them like a media advertising person for a credit union in Virginia.
Okay, you raised her up and she's out on her own and doing well. Congratulations.
Yeah. She's a very happy and lovely young lady.
Now, I know you're retired. Could you just give us a few little blips on your career?
Yes, it's always been one way or another about teaching. Most of the time I was a regular English teacher at high schools, as I mentioned, in several different states. There was that wonderful 2-year experience teaching in China. And I've also taught other things. I've taught, well, yoga. I became a yoga teacher. I taught at the College of Charleston. As a matter of fact, I taught yoga. And that was a great experience. So one way or another, I always find myself in the role of being a teacher.
Wonderful. Well, could you tell us how your spiritual search started?
Early on, I left behind the Presbyterian church and was in search of something that felt a little more comfortable for my soul and a little less dogmatic. And I discovered way back in the late 60s and early 70s something called Unity. And I was very drawn to it. I lived at the time in Virginia Beach, where you may know there's an Edgar Cayce Institute. And there were lots of sort of New Age people around doing different things. And I became involved with some of them and was really drawn to Unity. And at the same time was also drawn to something called the Dances of Universal Peace. So I followed both those paths, the Unity and the dances.
Very eclectic, because it sounds like a wonderful search. How did you first find Unity? You said you found Unity a long time ago. What's
Yeah,
going on with
it
you?
was in Virginia Beach, and they actually were sponsoring the Dances of Universal Peace. So that was the venue for the dances, and I was so taken with them that I went on to become again a teacher, and I became a certified dance instructor for the Dances of Universal Peace.
Oh, perfect. So there was a little synchronicity there.
Yes.
If you could just give us a short take on what your personal philosophy is, your spiritual philosophy, what would you say?
Well, I think I'm more interested in the ethical dimensions of spiritual practice. Uh, I don't, yeah, I guess I'd have to say the slogan I remember from one of my great yoga, guess you'd say gurus, Sri Swami Satchidananda. His slogan was "Be good, do good," and I think that's a wonderful summary of how to do your life. Be good, do good. So
I
that's my philosophy.
love that. Love that. Now, could you tell us some of your favorite authors or favorite books?
I'm always stumped by that question. I remember I used to ask my clarinet teacher, "What's your favorite musician?" And she said, "That's not a good question. You can't ask that question. There are too many wonderful books and wonderful authors." So I tend to read nonfiction. I love Pema Chodron. I love Fritjof Capra, who's written a lot about the intersection of science and mysticism. That particular subject is of special interest to me. So I'm looking out for things that are about the Tao of physics and so on.
I think I once heard you say that your favorite book is usually the one you're reading now.
Yes, that's true.
So what are some of your passions or hobbies? I think you've mentioned some, but just to go a little further.
Well, I'm certainly devoted to plants. I love them, and I spend a lot of time propagating and tending the plants in our landscape and in the house as well. Um, I also am very much interested in music. I have a very strong musical background. Um, I don't play an instrument anymore. I used to. I have played piano and clarinet and guitar and recorder. I used to play professionally the recorder. But now I play the radio and I play Spotify. So so I guess those count as hobbies.
Oh, that's right. And in terms of doing what you love and the money will follow, I know that you had another business that really incorporated your passion. What was that?
Yes, we did. Uh, well, first of all, Lynn and I did the Charleston Yoga Center to Your Health. And then we decided that we loved plants enough to do a plant business. So we established a native plant nursery and we propagated and sold plants out of our backyard. And it was a thriving and really wonderful, fun business. We did that for a number of years.
That's amazing. Well, yeah, I think you've mentioned some of your spiritual practices. Do you have any other spiritual practices or interests that we haven't talked about?
Well, I think I mentioned to you that I've turned my love for swimming into a kind of meditation. The breathing, the rhythmic breathing when I do my strokes in the water work very nicely to incorporate. If I choose to do a mantra, I can do a mantra on the breath while I'm swimming, and I find that a wonderful way to pray and meditate while I swim.
That's great. And I know that you're also a practitioner of engaged Buddhism. Do you see any kind of conflict in any other spiritual practice other than unity and unity principles? Do they complement each other? What's your thought on that?
You know, one of the wonderful things about both unity and Buddhism is that they shun harsh dogma. Both. They both encourage you to turn to the inward divinity, and that for me resonates very much. And I would say No, there's certainly no conflict. In fact, in unity, we're encouraged to go ahead and keep our whatever our traditional root spiritual background might be. And some people do that. And the same is true in the Buddhist Sangha. We're encouraged, if we wish, to continue to be involved with whatever our previous spiritual community might have been. So the two of them are wonderful complements.
Yeah, you don't have to give up anything to join the Unity Church. As a matter of fact, you don't even have to join, you can just come.
Correct.
And I'm wondering if there's anything specific you would like to say about Unity of Charleston.
It's a very warm, welcoming community. It is truly, it's built into the statements of principle and into the mission statement of the church that it is a welcoming community for everybody. So we attract people of all nationalities, races, genders, orientations, and they're a very friendly group of people, very warm, very open. So can't say enough good things about the community. If you want to be a part of a community, it's a good one.
Right. I can certainly agree with that one. I want to thank you so much, Jane, for being with us today. Thank you so much.
My pleasure. Hope to see you in church.
Yeah.